Hello, hello, hello.
And welcome to the Hildebrand Law Firm topic for today.
I'm Kirsten Hildebrand.
And I'm Matt Kaplan.
And today we're going to talk about this weird issue about whether I need to get an estate plan if I have kids or not, and how those two issues relate. So what do you think, Matt?
Well, and we are a very formal duo, as Kirsten over here has children. I have no children.
Yes.
So this is a really interesting situation. Now, if you have kids, do you need estate planning? 100% yes. 100% yes, just because the amount of things that can go wrong are incredible without proper estate planning in place. But the real question, if I don't have kids, do I still need estate planning? The answer is a resounding yes.
It's actually a really interesting opportunity, because when you have children, I would say the vast majority of people, if the child is not, like, say, disabled and therefore on benefits, or perhaps estranged, and therefore you want to proactively cut that child out of receiving any of your estate, those outlying issues are certainly very serious issues, and they need to be addressed in estate planning for certain. So if you do have children, you need an estate plan, not only because you would want to include them, but also if you want to exclude them for some reason, that has to be proactively addressed in estate planning. But then if you don't have children, you have an interesting freedom.
Yes, it's nice because by me not having children, you know, the stigma is if you have kids, you're going to leave everything to your kids.
Yes.
That's what most people want to do. Because I don't have kids, I kind of have the freedom of I can leave it to nieces and nephews if I want. I don't have to. We could leave it to siblings. I can leave things to charities that I love. I have all of these options. I mean, you have the options before. It's just people are going to look at you funny if you don't leave your stuff to your kids.
Right.
But so I have all of these options. The only issue is that the law, the default in the law, does not give me these options. What's the default in the law?
Oh yeah, so that's really interesting. If you don't have children, then everything goes to your spouse, whether you are estranged from your spouse or not. So some people just never actually get divorced. They just separate, which is fine, but make sure that you understand that there is still a marital property interest there that they have, and they have a claim against really your estate. So if you're not married, then there's a different set of rules, and that set of rules is that it would go to your parents if they are alive. Then if they are, and that's interesting because the parents could be in a nursing home and get kicked off of Medicaid benefits if you pass away and the money goes to the parents.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of problems with that being just sort of left up to chance. And then if the parents are both passed away, then it would go to siblings. And I don't know why, but I get a lot of sniggers from people when they say, when I say, oh yeah, so just so you know, walking in here without an estate plan, single person, without parents, your stuff is all going to your siblings. And usually that gets an interesting reaction, like, oh yeah, no, I don't really want anything to go to them.
Yeah.
So, but understand that that is the situation if you haven't addressed it differently. And so then that makes people understand and be motivated to think about charities, to think about who they want to benefit, who they want to really enhance in terms of what life is going to look like afterwards.
And it also opens up opportunities for you to maybe do kind of alternative or unique styles of estate planning. We've done a video on charitable remainder unit trusts that have a lot of really nice benefits that, especially, you know, if you have kids, it's a hard sell to your children. Hey, instead of you getting an inheritance, it's all going to go to the Humane Society eventually.
Right.
But I'm taking that tax break now. And so when you don't have children, it really opens up those unique opportunities for you to kind of do things your own way.
Right.
That is not expected of you. And so you can utilize different types of trusts, especially a lot of people who don't have children maybe tend to have a pet. If you do have a pet, it's a good idea to have a provision in there is who's going to take care of my pet. especially a lot of people maybe treat their pets as children.
Yes.
Guilty as charged. and so it really opens up some unique opportunities. And if your goals don't align with the default that the law has, shout out to my brother Andrew. I love you, but I don't want you to have my money. I'd rather your children have my money one day.
Yes.
And the same for you. I bet you don't want me to have your money either.
Is he listening to this?
He doesn't watch any of these. I'll send this one to him. But so it gives you that opportunity, and so that's why I think estate planning for if you don't have children, obviously for the regular everyday person, it's going to be kind of a tough conversation to have with them.
Another mini myth within this myth of I don't need to get my estate planning done because I don't have children is the mini myth of, and I don't need to think about who is going to make my healthcare decisions or my financial decisions in the event of my incapacity. And the twist on that is that no one, whether you're married or not married, whether you have children or not children, whether you have siblings or not siblings, no matter what, no one has the authority to make your healthcare decisions or your financial decisions until you designate them as your agent. And so when I think about my single people who don't have children, obviously it's super important for them to get somebody designated as the agent who's going to make healthcare and financial decisions for them. And even if you don't know somebody who would do that for you, that doesn't mean that you don't have the conversation with us. And we can sometimes come up with some really creative options, third parties or other people that can at least understand, get to know you, and then function in that position. We have an entire section of Hildebrand Law Firm called Financial Guardians, and these financial guardians are the ones that can be appointed to make sure that the finances go smoothly if you are unable to make financial decisions for yourself. So that is all super, super important. But then the other tangential myth to that is that if I have kids or if I have a spouse, then they can make those decisions for me. And the answer is they cannot. They cannot. In fact, a lot of guardianships are started because the spouse is there, the person who is disabled cannot make decisions for themselves, and there's nobody to make any medical decisions for that person. So we have to start a guardianship action. So all in all, it is extremely important, no matter who you are, to make sure that you address this issue of making healthcare and financial decisions for you in the event of your incapacity. Because the state of Wisconsin, while they have a rule book on what will happen with your stuff if you don't make decisions, there is no rule book as to who's in charge if you don't make that decision.
And Kirsten, can I make one last point?
Yes.
I think even if you don't have children or if you're not married, you still may want to protect your stuff if you ever need long-term care. Because what kind of legacy do you want to leave? Do you want to leave the legacy of, I didn't care about anyone, I went to a nursing home, they gobbled up all my stuff, I qualified for Medicaid and died penniless, couldn't leave any actual tangible legacy? Or do you want to leave the legacy of, I was able to protect my stuff, half my stuff went to a charity, half my stuff went to nieces and nephews or other family members, and they were able to do this because of my planning.
Excellent point. Excellent point. Well, thanks so much for joining us. We are here for your today and for your tomorrow. Have a great day.